Welcome back to the channel. I got a comment from a subscriber about my motor mount, so I thought I'd take time out to do a little demo on how I put these motor mounts together and how that idea came about. Let me get the camera and I can get up a little bit closer and show you fellas what's going on. Kind of gives you a little bit of, that's a Vega steering box bracket that I've got there too. That's kind of one of the reasons, but I just now saw that, you know what, I probably could do that too. But I left the gusset off of here, but I'm looking at that right now and figuring out that, you know, I could put a gusset under that. And, you know, if I got to remove that steering box bracket, I mean, that's what this is all about, you know, freaking cutting and grinding. But here's a kind of an example here of what I did. You know, I gusseted out this tubing right here. You can see it's got threads in it. What I did was I purchased a 4-link setup for this car right at the very beginning when I, you know, this is my first Model A to deal with, and I had no idea, you know, how high that was going to kick the car up by if I put a 4-link under it, front and back. So after I saw that was a tremendous screw up, I decided that I was going to change my idea, and I went ahead and I took it and cut it down to a ladder bar. So this is for the back of the car. So that gave me the opportunity to lower the car without using any, you know, bracketry like you use on a 4-link. So I was able to, see if you can get over there, that little hole right there is where the ladder bar hooks up. And then, so this is from that Speedway setup. So once I built that ladder bar setup, then I had another set. And I go, well, shoot, why don't I incorporate part of that tubing, which you can see the gusset there on this side, which is passenger side. And so I incorporated the tubing, which resulted into using, as you can see on the 4-link, I got this one taped up, but you can see how it comes with these little knuckles. I guess it's an isolator. I guess it has. So what I ended up making was this motor mount, which is for a Chevy 350. Added the tabs on there, and so you got this little locking nut. So what's really sexy about this fella is that you're able to now, you know, this is a test here, if you can do this while you're holding the camera. So you can screw this in, so when you have your engine setting in here, which, you know, at the beginning I set the engine up, centered it, moved it back where I needed it, and then commenced putting together my alignment on my motor mounts and the distances, measuring the distances and whatnot. So if you can see this action here, which makes it cool, is that it has this action, you know, it swivels, so and then you've got this action, which is, you know, it just works out very well on aligning your motor mounts. Plus there's a little bit of an isolator in there for, your vibration or whatever. And then you've got, once you get the distance that you need, then you have this nut here that will jam nut it down. So I guess that's just a short little basic rundown on how I put these together. I had Joe from Joe's Next Project leave a little comment down on how I did my motor mounts. And so I'm obliging him by isolating this right now. And it turned out, I really liked the way that it turned out due to the fact that I had these extra parts, which I ended up using one here for my headlight buckets, which I attached to my grill shell, which is a 33 Dodge truck grill shell. So that worked out, being able to use that. And then, so when I'm sitting here looking at this again, I'm realizing that this would have been maybe something cool to use these fellas, which is really nice about these is that the 1930 headlight bucket that fits in here, it fits in here perfectly. It just fits right down in there, and with this rounded, let's get the camera over there so you guys can see. So with this little bevel in here, it really, and on the bottom of that headlight bucket, it's rounded. So when it fits in there, I've got total adjustment, right to left, back, forward. So it's just really cool when you find stuff that you have and you can utilize it for multiple things like motor mounts and then these headlight brackets. But here's another one that I could use some help on. I've got these shocks and I just am not sure if you guys have any suggestions or ideas. Leave them in the comments, as far as, where to hook it up. I mean, I know I've got to come off of here somewhere and attach it to this part somewhere, but I just haven't quite gotten there yet. So I wouldn't mind some suggestions on that. And then I guess I could show you guys what I did here with my transmission mount. So what I did is if you can see back to that point, I've got some troubleshooting to do there where I made an error. I never make a mistake. I make errors and then I pick them up and I fix them. But thinking this guy, so this fella is going to go back in there and fit in there for my transmission mount. So wanted to get that out there. I mean, I have so much to do at this point and not getting too much of it. I have to apologize. Not getting very many videos out, but got some issues trying to get out here in the garage and work, which is no big deal. And this is some of the work that I've done recently where I've got back here and put some rust inhibitor in and paint it. I know for some of you new subscribers, man, I appreciate it too. It's cool being able to, show people what you're doing and I mean, I've been kind of short about some of my descriptions of of how I did this. And, you know, this is a pungent barrel. This is a whole barrel right here. And it's a size up from the barrel that you see out in front of maybe a store or something that somebody's throwing trash in. This and they call this a pungent barrel. And the bung was, you know, you can see that, you know, that's where the lid goes right there. So I used the whole, stave is what they call these. Each individual board is a stave. Yeah. And so I incorporated the total length of the pungent barrel, and I used every board across the back here on the trunk. And, you know, there's the bung. I pull the cork, I put my gas in. Yep. That's how it works. And there's some of you can see some of the wood here. The barrel that I followed all the way around. And then some of the stops that I've got here for my trunk lid. And some brackets there for my coilovers. And here you can see some of it was a red wine. All these barrels had red wine in it. And yes, it smells like red wine. So yeah. And one of the neat things that happened when I was putting this car together was, you know, it all came about when I first started putting this together. Is that I picked up this 1930 Ford Model A cow. I got it from Connecticut off of eBay. And the guy threw it on a Greyhound bus. And it took about 2.5 weeks for me to get it. Went down to the bus station. He had it wrapped up in some cardboard. And there you go. And once I had this cow, I picked up this 32 Model A frame, and had no intentions of building this car out of wine barrels. But I had some wine barrel staves, and I took a wine barrel stave, and I thought it, you know, had really a real close alignment. And as you can see, isn't that just absolutely crazy how that just lines up? And once I saw that, I go, okay, I'm building the Vino Rod. And I built the doors, and I, you know, came around the corner here, filled the back in. And once I had that built, then I started framing up my trunk. And each time as I'm building this, I'm thinking, as you can see here, I'm like, what can I do for seats? And so I looked over to the pile of the bands, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to do some kind of a Corvette action stuff, you know, little cutout. And I just started stacking them up, and it just created that funnel effect there, which is cool because I was able to use everything with the wine barrel. The bands, the lids. These are the pieces here. These are all lid, tops of the barrels. And this was off the pungent barrel, which this is a full length. This one here is the full length lid, which that's how it gave me all that length. And then after I had this all built, I went looking for taillights. And I was at Famoso Drag Strip in Bakersfield. It's just outside of Bakersfield, called Famoso Drags, and they have nostalgic drag racing out there a couple of times a year, March and October. It's a really good event. And went into the swap meet area, and I found some 64 Impala tail lights that fit perfectly on there. So that was a fun find, because I had already built the tail end of the car. So, and the tail lights come out straight. They're not tipped down. The top of the tail light just comes straight out, which, you know, that's one of those deals where you just get lucky. But, you know, I wanted to comment on Joe. If you haven't checked on Joe's next project, the guy's got some cool stuff going on. So I would say try to scoot over there and take a look at what he's doing. And I definitely want to give a shout out to Dave with Scott Rods. I mean, the guy's awesome. So if you haven't seen his channel, it's Scott Rods, and definitely tune into him. Really cool. All right, guys, we'll get another video as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys looking over and watching this. Talk to you later. Hey, wait a second. Let's get Bolo in here. Bolo. There's my partner right there. It's not exactly solo. He helps me as much as he can. So, all right. Oh. What you waiting on there, big fella? I don't see your ball. Where's your ball? Come on, you're killing me, Smalls. What? This is how this guy helps me. It's all he does. All right. See you guys later.